Riding the Chevy, going low and slow. 6'7" Impala on 84s. Cruise control. Baby, I know. Step on the gas, brake, dip, let's go. Speakers in the bag, let it hit for show. Baby, if you like it, we can get a little more. Ice in the air, let it fall like snow.
What's up, y'all? It's your Rose, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. I'm getting ready here in a bit to go to church, and I just wanted to do a little get ready with me type situation. Today I have a question. It's kind of a loaded question. So I figured who better to help me answer it than the majority of people who have been watching me grow up on the internet for the past 4 or 5 years or so. If you're new here, welcome. Hi, how are ya? I'm so glad to have you, and I'm so glad you came across this channel. I would love to hear what all of you have to say. Old comers and newcomers alike. I just really think that perspective is one of God's greatest gifts to humanity, and would love to hear yours. I think that I'm hyper aware of the fact that I don't have all the answers. But I really hope through engaging in this type of discourse, we can kind of figure it out together. I really think it'll be able to help me and others reflect not only on this situation, but also navigate the way that you could tackle other situations that might be similar or different, whatever. I will be reading through all the responses, so I'm really looking forward to it. The question at hand is, what comes first, love or submission? I'm gonna elaborate on that because I know it might just be confusing to not even like preface it, but to elaborate on that question, do you show someone love first and then they submit to that love? Or do you submit to someone first so that they can or will love you? While you're marinating on that question and working on formulating an answer, I'm going to tell you a story that kind of ties along with this question in relation to this season of my life. As most of you guys know, 2022 she was not giving what she needed to give. It was not the best year of my life. It was kind of the beginning of the end of this channel. Since then, I've really been doing my own thing, raising my babies, trying to navigate life the best way I know how. I've really been searching for my own answers to all of my whys and trying to find my own conviction when it comes to my spiritual relationships. Relationship. The one and only. So I've been asking myself, do I really believe what I believe, and why do I believe what I believe? Those are really just a few of the questions that I've asked myself. Going to church a lot. I take the boys with me. They love it. Forget all that. Here's the tea. Here's what you really came for. I think that a lot of people have this perception of churchgoers as a group of people that are holier than thou, and it's just a group of saints. But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you this, and it might just be personal to me, but I'm not saying that's what you got to do. It's just what I do. I go to church because I am a sinner, not because I am a saint, okay? I'm a sinner, okay? Who's probably gonna sin again. Lord, forgive me. Speaking of Lord, forgive me, in the battle of Drake versus Kendrick, who do you think won? Who do y'all think won? Because I'm telling you, it's getting spicy. El Drake. Okay, anyways. Go ahead and leave that in the comments as well. I want to know, but that's besides the point. Back to the topic at hand. I went to church recently, and this white boy comes up to me after the service, and like, it's really, I know that sounds funny, but this is really not uncommon, y'all. I live in Idaho, just to preface, and Idahoans are friendly, potato-loving folk for the most part. So I see him staring at me from a ways away, and he's just like, he had that look like he was gonna come up and talk to me. He was just staring. He was looking at me. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him, looking at me. We looking at each other, y'all get the point. And I'm just like, oh, he probably wanna come say hi. Maybe he just wanna introduce himself. I don't know, maybe he's part of the welcome team, the help team. I'm not thinking too much of it. So I wait for him to mosey on over. And me thinking that it's just gonna be like a howdy. Tell me why the first thing that comes out of this young man's mouth is, who are you? What? Excuse me, what? He had me looking at him like this. I was in a state of turmoil, a state of pure confusion. He had me looking around like, well, I don't know, who am I? Who are you? Asking all them questions. The hell? It took me all the way aback. I was like, what do you mean by that? No, what's my name? It's worse though, because I'm sitting over there like Porky the Pig, head-ass little girl, just like,
that's all, folks.
He proceeds that by saying, there's only like 10 of you that go to this church, and I've never seen you before. So I go, 10 of you? And he goes, yeah, Black people. He continues on to say, there's not a lot of you. You must be new. Then you want to stick his hand out, like, to get a handshake. And I'm like, child, When I tell you I started cracking up, sometimes you just gotta laugh it off. So I was like, boy, if you don't get on my face with that. Like, I know there's not a lot of diversity here, but like, there's only 10 of you is absolutely incredible. It was definitely quite the introduction. So we get to talking and he seems pretty taken with me overall, you know. It's shocking. Were you silent or were you silenced? He's telling me about a whole bunch of small groups that we got going on at church, all that jazz. And then he kind of invites me out to dinner. He made sure to preface that it wasn't a date, that we would just be going to the same restaurant at the same time, sitting at the same table, and that he would pay. But it wasn't a date. It wasn't a date. So I was like, okay, cool. Even though he was wrong as hell for coming up to me like that on some BS, I thought about it and I was like, I do want to get more connected. I like his boldness. Like, yeah, let's go, you know, hang out, whatever. So he gives me a time and place, and it's that Sunday night. I pull up like 30 minutes late. Sorry. But we get to talking and I'm realizing that I really don't like this man, y'all. Like, I know it took a turn, but I'm realizing that I really don't like him. We're probably chatting for all of 2 minutes before he starts talking crazy. Like his views on fetus yetus. I don't even know if we're allowed to say that one on here, but he starts talking about marital issues. He starts talking about all these huge topics. And I'm like, well, I thought we were supposed to be getting to know each other, you know, like... And I guess, but this is a lot. Like, I can't even say everything that he said. I'll just kind of say that it was rude and it was very abrasive. And he had this real aggressive energy about him. So mid hangout, I'm not a rude person. I'm nice as hell. Like, I really try to be, but you got to get me to a different point to get to that to that point of disrespect. So I straight up tell him, well, we won't be doing this again. And he's like, why? He has the audacity to look at me and say, why? And I said, don't act confused, you dizzy bitch. I didn't say it like that. I really didn't. But I did, however, say this. I said, I'm disliking you more and more by the second. And it's taking everything in me not to get up and walk away. Like, I didn't want to be rude. So I'm still sitting here. He just completely ignores what I said and goes, do you want dessert? What do you want for dessert? Y'all, he got me. I got ADHD. So I'm like, oh, dessert. Mm-hmm. He distracted me. What can I say?
What can I say? What can I say?
You always gotta have you something sweet after dinner. So I'm enjoying my dessert, right? I ordered like an Oreo shake or like something like that. We continue chatting. So then he goes, I'm off Wednesday and Thursday. When are we doing this again? And I was like, never. And he goes, that's funny. That doesn't seem to be within the confines of the options I gave you. Wednesday or Thursday were the only options. Those were the only 2 choices. So pick one. Y'all, I was shook. He kind of ate with that one. It was kind of like, but I was like, no, for real, we don't vibe. We're not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. But he was really persistent, okay? He was like, let's hang out again or whatever. So finally I was like, all right, okay, I'm sold. Like, we can hang out again, whatever. It's fine. So I was like, let's do Wednesday. So we go to brunch and we are chilling, having a time, y'all. One thing about me, 2 things for sure, okay? I'm a chronic oversharer. I love it. Like, yes, let's get to know each other. But there is a big but here, and it's not my juicy one, okay? But there's a difference between oversharing and trauma dumping. And when I tell y'all, this man probably day 2 shat, like one of those shats, okay, on me. Talking about relationship trauma, he got mama trauma. Y'all know that mama trauma is no joke. But it was quite the combination. He was talking and I'm listening. I'm just trying to be a good person, but it was a lot, y'all. I actually sighed. Quite the sigh, okay? He's talking and I go, and you know it had to have been quite a sigh because he had to ask me if I was okay. You know the story is fucked if you're the one confiding in me about some shit that you done went through. And you gotta ask the other person if they're okay. So he goes off telling me his story and I go, thank you for trusting me with this information. Like, just telling him about how much I appreciate him for feeling like I am somebody that he can confide in and all that. Y'all, I've been blending this out for long as hell. Give me a second. I'm just telling him how much I appreciate him for feeling like I'm someone that he can confide in, like all that. He was talking about some heavy stuff and I was like, I'm not gonna judge you, you know, like I've been through my fair share of stuff. It is what it is. But then he looks at me and he's like, oh yeah, surprise me. I had to politely decline. I look at my watch. I said, it's time to go because I left my refrigerator running at this point. Like, I'm not doing the whole trauma dump, trauma bond thing with you. So I leave. After that, we're like texting throughout the week and it's cool. Nothing crazy is happening. We're just talking. But the best way to get to know someone is by asking them questions, right? And making sure that you're not giving any of your own opinion to like subconsciously influence theirs. So I'm asking him a whole bunch of questions about life and relationships and God, just about anything that's coming to my mind. And it's not like, what's your favorite color, but like, what question do you wish more people would ask you? That type of stuff. So like, we're getting real deep. And at one point in the conversation, he basically goes, you don't trust me. And he continues on to say, I wish you would just start believing me rather than needing me to prove everything to you all the time. So I go, I literally don't even know what you're talking about. like I literally don't even know what you're talking about. Then he starts saying, he's like, I don't have a problem with you, but I have a problem with you having a problem with me all the time. And I'm like, nigga, what problem do I have? I thought we were chilling, like talking, getting to know each other, having fun. You know, like a little D&D ass time. Like, what are you talking about? He asked, why are you so skeptical of me all the time? I'm not trying to come against you, whatever. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I still apologize because even though I didn't know specifically what he was talking about, it made me think maybe, just maybe, like subconsciously, my guard, it might be all the way up. I told him, you know, like I got some skeletons in my closet, and if I ever get to that point where I feel comfortable enough to open up about it, like I don't know you like that right now. I assumed that he was referring to the other day when I just didn't tell him my entire life story. I think the important thing is I don't really know how my behavior is being perceived unless somebody tells me, which is why I had to do a lot of reflections. You know what I'm saying? I got to do a lot of reflections sometimes. And I was like, what is he seeing that I'm not conscious of? So we continue talking and he goes, the woman continues to think that she doesn't need to be taken care of, that a man won't take care of her. He said, men like nice women, men like feminine women. I'm not saying that you aren't nice or that you aren't feminine. You just question me a lot simply for the sake of questioning me. It's cute and it's a little bratty, but sometimes women need to submit to being fully feminine. He said a lot of other stuff, but I was like, bro, what the fuck? First of all, what makes you think that I want any of that, okay? Like genuinely, because I didn't approach you, you approached me. So I was like, what makes you think that I want any of that, first of all? And second of all, I'm hyper aware of the fact that I should not be dating anybody right now. Like I'm chilling, I'm focusing on me, my relationship with God, my babies. Like, who says I want a man? I mean, I do. But eventually I do. But who says I was checking for you? Okay? Who said I was doing that? And other than that, other than day one, when he literally came out the cuts being a weirdo, I was a complete bitch. I give you that. And only that. But since that day, I felt like we cleared up certain misunderstandings, I thought. And I thought we were chilling. I get annoyed. And it's petty comes as petty does. I sent him a list of nice things that I've done for him since the day that I've met him. And he backtracks after that. Yeah, once I pull out the receipts, he had to backtrack after that. And he's like, you know what? You're right. You are really nice to me. Do you want to hang out with me later in the week? And I'm like, nah, gang, I'm straight. Okay? I don't want none of that. He kind of goes off again, talking about how he really does think that I'm a good girl. I just have this aura about me that seems like I don't need anyone's help, especially not a man's, okay? He was like, you make your own money. You got it like that. Men don't want a strong, independent woman, but they don't want a weak, dependent woman either. Which sparks a whole nother conversation, okay? It rose the question, what do they want then? And he couldn't articulate it. So I'm like, yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead and continue the point that you weren't making. I have to give credit where credit is due. How could somebody say so much, yet nothing at all at the same time? Quite impressive, impeccable, if you ask me. Anyways, I kind of start to feel like he's projecting his past experiences onto me, and I explain that, like, I would really hope that my future husband, okay, mine at least, would be proud that I'm not just submitting myself to someone for the fuck of it, you know, just to do it. Just solely based on their word and the fact that they're man. My opinion, a prudent question is one half of wisdom. And I think that it's wise to balance trust and a healthy dose of discernment. To me, questioning is a pathway to understanding, not necessarily a sign of doubt. I feel like in an ideal world, it would be innocence before proven guilty. Yet the reality is that we often lean towards suspicion before confirmation. But he brought up that full submission, like fully submitted. And that got my brain going. It was like, what does that mean? Keep in mind, y'all, this is a man that I met at church. So if you're a believer, the Bible is very clear about submission. But the verse that is popularized or cherry-picked, taken out of context, whatever you want to say, is Ephesians 5:22. Wives, submit to your husbands. Not acknowledging. I feel like a lot of people forget to acknowledge that there's a whole other section and a preface right before that. So I think it's verse 21. It says, submit yourselves to one another because of your reference for Christ, which also prompted the question in my head that I asked at the beginning of this video. And I needed help answering it because I feel like I've been sitting on it so heavily and I just can't come to a consensus. I've been reflecting on if there was any validity in what he was saying. So the question is, which comes first, love or submission? I don't know this man like that. He don't know me. Do I find somebody worthy of my submission? And then a man grows to love you because you've submitted to them. Or are you shown love and then you submit to the love that you are shown? Therefore, you're submitted to that person, if that makes any sense. Another question that I have is, what makes somebody worthy of submission? Who is worthy of submission? I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I still don't have an answer. No matter how many people I've asked, I feel like I get different answers like all the time. But I do have a point that I feel like I would like to rationalize, and I would really appreciate y'all leaving your honest opinions in the comments. You can tell me like I am dead wrong and I'll eat it up, because the point is reflection and clarity. So I would love to hear your thoughts. But the way I have it rationalized in my head is I always thought that love comes before submission. And I will use scripture to explain why. So in the book of Ephesians, the same chapter 5, verse 25, it says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. So the way that I think about it, Christ loved the church even when the church was undeserving. The church is beautiful to Christ because he loves her. It's based upon his own love, his own righteousness, and his own sacrifice. So I don't know, y'all. Talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me your opinions. I might have it ass hat backwards. Thank you for watching this video and allowing me this opportunity to have this discourse with you. I love y'all so much and I can't wait to see what y'all have to say. If you like these videos and want to see more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, but also tune in next time for more videos. I gotta finish this face. I've been chatting.
Hi guys, so it is a bright sunshiny day, but I wanted to go ahead and show y'all the full outfit. Here's what I am wearing today. But I got everything in here: Bible, notes, pen, gum, everything I need for the full night. Space card never declined, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, get a close up on that. The sun is a giving golden hour. If you're golden now, oh. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Let me see that work. Something soft, something cute, she can hit a little twerk to. Do that stuff and really show me what it is. Hello Fresh, where I deliver my biz. Big ass pocket so I can hold this cash. Big ass shirt so I can fit this drip. Big old dome piece, the Congolese wapty. Ballin' with a tennis racket, making sure it hits.